Good morning. Good morning. It's time to rise and receive. Welcome to your 10-minute morning send-off designed to support you in receiving what you most want by unlearning struggle. So today we're going to talk about how to invite good fortune when you feel stuck or resistant. And resistance is something that I think just about everyone can relate to. So I invite you, if you are getting here early and just settling into this rise and receive, or just discovering it maybe for the first time, to think about an area of life where you feel stuck, where you might feel resistant, and just let it be here. Invite it into the space so that as we go through today's rise and receive, you can really have it be personally relevant to you and support you in inviting good fortune. So if you don't know me, my name is Sonia Miller. I am a speaker, coach, and best-selling author, and I am passionate about teaching people how to receive, because receiving is its own very specific, very concrete, very results-producing skill set. And yet most people don't know how to receive. That's the thing I have discovered in all of my many years of coaching. What most people know how to do is to work hard, and we take great pride in our hard work ethic. And we strive and we hunt and we pursue and we make plans and we figure out. And yet, we can be doing that all day long for years and years and years, still be waiting for our long overdue rewards, and maybe still not have those results come in. And that's usually because we don't know how to actually stop all the hard work and receive what we've been working so hard for. So that's one of the things that we illuminate here. And what I do each morning is I pull one card from my brand new Receive card deck, which is all about illuminating these receiving principles, and I let it inspire a message for today. So today we're going to talk about how to invite good fortune when you're feeling stuck or resistant. So as you think about the area of life where you feel stuck or resistant, I'd also invite you to think about, what do you do about that? How do you address it? How do you try to move through your stuckness or your resistance? Chances are pretty good, if you're like most people, you try to figure it out. You look at the stuckness and this resistance as a problem to solve. And so you get caught up here. Gerbil wheel. Figure out, problem solve, look on the horizon for answers, or process. And usually what happens with that is you just get more stuckness and resistance. So today we're going to talk about a whole new way to approach stuckness and resistance. And so what I'd like to illuminate today, and I'm going to save the card, the unveiling, in a moment, is I want to talk about two concepts that are really important to transforming your relationship to stuckness and resistance so that you can invite good fortune. And these two concepts are the habit of battle and the fear of space. All right, so let's talk about what that is. So we as human beings, for many different reasons, have a habit of doing battle. And battle isn't just fighting, okay? It's opposing, it's pushing away, it's trying to control, it's trying to conquer, it's trying to overcome. It's what happens when we over-rely on what I call the doing model of power and manifestation. And part of that is just human nature, okay? We have this monkey mind that is designed to help us do certain things in life. But because we haven't really nurtured or nourished, or it happens to have been malnourished for us, what I call the being model of power, then what we do is, it's kind of like, let's say you need a hammer and a screwdriver to build a house, but all you have is a hammer. So you keep using the hammer even when you need a screwdriver because that's all you have. So you over-rely on the hammer. And we over-rely on the doing model of power, which means we over-rely on the problem-solving aspect of our being. That causes battle. All right? And so the problem with that is we just don't know the alternative. Even if we know, I need to stop the battle, I need to stop figuring out, I need to get out of my head, I need to stop over functioning. Even if we know we need to stop that, we don't actually know what the alternative is. How do I feel powerful when I'm not battling? Most people actually feel afraid or powerless if they stop trying to figure things out. They feel lost, which leads me into the second thing, the fear of space. The fear of space. One of the things I teach in my Receive course is struggle begins in the mind. And most of our struggle, pretty much all of our struggle, is between our ears. It's really up here, right? So what is spaciousness? What is the alternative to battle, the alternative to struggle? It is to simply be. It's to let the battle rest. It's to simply let everything be as it is. Stop. But what happens is while space is here all the time, it's not like there's a lack of space. It's that we fill up the space. And if we get an inkling that maybe I should stop the battle and we're left with that spaciousness, we're afraid of it. We just don't know what to do. We feel lost. We don't know what to do with ourselves. So even if it looks in your life like you have space, like maybe you're resting on the couch, consider, are you being? Are you simply being with yourself, with this moment, with what is? Or are you filling up the space of your awareness with your phone, with TV, with eating, with video games? Are you checking out? Are you numbing out? That's not space. That's filling up the space. And when we really consider just being in that space, we tend to fear it because that feeling of what's going to come, it's the fear of the unknown. What do I do with myself? Because doing has been our security blanket. So as we become willing to explore what does arise in space, in that spaciousness, and then learn to feel safe. Because here's the thing, you do need an element of boundaries, of safety and protection when you go into that space. But most of us over-rely on the shields, on the self-protection, on the checking out, on the avoidance of the things that might arise, because again, that's all we know. So a little bit of protection, boundaries, and a container for the space is important. But then when you learn how to create that safety for yourself to explore what arises in the space, you discover a whole new way of inviting good fortune. And that's what I want to read to you today from today's card. So here's today's card. The card that I pulled is Soothe Your Resistance. Soothe Your Resistance. I'm not going to read the whole card. I have a whole video on this card, which I'll include a link to above or below, depending on if you're on Facebook or YouTube. But I'm going to highlight a portion of this. So I invite you to sit back. And as you think about that thing that I invited you to connect with, the thing that you are either feeling stuck around or resistant about, and you lean back, let these words wash over you, and see if this gives you an inspiration to relate to that thing in a new way today. Here we go. Next time you notice you are resisting something that you don't want to have happen in your life, stop and take a deep breath. Then say to yourself, I am resistant. Breathe again and let the resistance have space. Let your resistance simply be here. This is the mental equivalent of laying down your sword. Simply stop fighting. Then become aware of the next thing you're resisting. Is it a belief, a fear, an expectation, a conclusion, a judgment? Stop, breathe, and one by one receive your resistance. I let this anger be here. I let the belief that he is a jerk be here. I let the assumption that she's manipulating me be here. I let it all be here. Let each soldier for which you've braced for battle walk on by. Leave your sword and your shield on the ground. Allow the soldier's safe passage. Keep breathing. As you do, you will notice that eventually gift-bearing civilians will not be far behind. What you resist persists. What you receive makes space for new possibilities. Take a breath. Just let that kind of wash over you. So I invite you, if you're feeling stuck or resistant, practice this. Practice simply receiving the resistance rather than continuing to engage in the battle in your mind. Let it be here. Be willing to feel safe as it just lands. And then you can practice this willingness mantra as much as you want all day long, whenever you think of it. I am willing to let my resistance be here and enjoy the space for new possibilities. I am willing to let my resistance be here and enjoy the space for new possibilities. So, back to this idea of the habit of battle and the fear of space. Okay, when you are interested in learning how to receive, one of the fundamental things that's needed to receive, to invite good fortune into your life, is a space in which to receive it. I always use the bowl, okay? A bowl holds space. Now you get to decide if that bowl is going to be filled with problem solving and battle, which means you cannot receive anything else, or you're going to let it be here. Basically, it's the equivalent of pouring out what's in the bowl, and now there's a new space. Instead of pouring it out, what's happening is you're letting the battle be here and you're letting it rest. You're letting it pour out of the bowl. You're letting it move on through. And then that spaciousness becomes the invitation for the next thing and the next thing. So at first you might have more resistance, the anger, the belief, the fears, the conclusions, the assumptions. Keep letting it be here and keep breathing, breathing, breathing. That's what lets it move on through. Instead of battle, 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 you breathe, you breathe, you breathe. Eventually, those things that you are battling move on through, and those gift-bearing civilians, in other words, the kindness of life, starts to show up. It always works. Now, creating your reality does not mean controlling your reality. You cannot control what this feels like, how long it takes before those don't wants or yucky things take to move on through. But if you keep breathing and you keep receiving the resistance, they will. And then that invitation and that spaciousness opens up the next thing that life is always offering, which kindness is never far behind. Okay? So I hope this was helpful. I hope this was useful. If it was, please like, please share, please subscribe. If you're on YouTube, check out the links above and below. I always have some free resources. If you like what you're hearing from the Receive cards, please go to receivecarddeck.com if you'd like to sign up to learn when you can get your own. They'll be coming out very soon. And I hope you'll join me again at the next Rise and Receive. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.